Hello, everyone. Today on the Mile High Sports Symposium, we're going to talk about the U.S. men's soccer team and their collapse against, maybe some controversy around that. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about Nikola Jokic and his basketball exploits, as well as some contract talk. And we've got some buy or sell in the Mile High market. So stick with us, and we will be right back. I don't know. From football to hockey, we're taking it higher. That's the wrong one. Here it is.
Yo, welcome to the show. Let me set the scene. Mile High Sports Symposium, living the dream. Broncos in the house with that orange and blue. Nuggets making moves, watch that altitude crew. Avalanche bringing ice, check the skills they display. Rocky swinging bats, ready for on gameplay. Rapids in the mix, kicking it with style. Buffs bring the heat, put the rivals on trial. Chris and JT, they got the scoop. Mile High vibes, feel that energy rise. Sports on the menu, watch the crowd mesmerize. From football to hockey, we're taking it higher. Join the celebration, feel that sports desire.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mile High Sports Symposium. Happy Wednesday. I am one of your hosts, JT Matthews, and I am here with Chris Whitwright, my other host. The doctor is out today. Just got some personal stuff going on, so we are going to hold it down in the meantime. Chris, how you doing, sir?
Good, man. Just living the dream. Watching some soccer still, even though we had a disappointing exit to the World Cup, and just kind of hanging around.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a kind of a godsend to have the World Cup in the deadest sports time of the year. I mean, baseball fans are fine, I'm sure, but the rest of us who are not huge baseball fans or don't have a team per se are glad to have a little bit of a filler before football season starts. So let's just jump off there. Let's talk about the United States men's loss to Belgium, 4-1. Kind of a bit of a shellacking. That's a big a disparity in the football. But I want to talk about kind of the journey with the team, not just the bad, but the good also. What's your takeaway? Just kind of how have you viewed the team this World Cup, it being hosted here, and then just give me your thoughts on how it ended.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of gone through the entire roller coaster, haven't we? I mean, The opening game against Paraguay was the tippity top of the mountain where we're like, oh, we've arrived. All these young players. It was exciting. We were scoring goals. We dominated Paraguay basically from the word go. And now we are at the bottom of the mountain.
Yeah.
And have fallen all the way down there with the just epic collapse that we had on Monday night. So it was a fun ride. Again, did not get any further than we normally get, which is frustrating. And I was actually hoping that we would break through, because I think Belgium was one of the better matchups that we had for the round of 16 game that we could have hoped for, and we just didn't get it done. And honestly, like the loss was just awful, just horrible loss for us. Like, none of our players showed up. We had just kind of one of the biggest gaffes from a goaltender. Unfortunately for Matt Freese, like, I feel bad for the guy, because that is going to stain him for a little bit, and that sucks. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Aside from like Sebastian Berhalter, that all of a sudden, like, off the bench was that little spark plug that we needed.
Yeah.
Built some fire. Yeah, it was such an embarrassing way to go out.
Yeah, especially with all the politics around it, the red card being rescinded and us being at full health, it didn't matter. It didn't seem to matter at all. Or, maybe it worked against us. Maybe it's one of those things, they had a little extra fire because they felt that the host team was getting a little preferential treatment.
Yeah. See, I think the result was correct. Like it should have been a red card. I don't think he should have been suspended. I think VAR was used improperly. And again, if you want my thoughts on VAR, you can just get out of the game because it is
sure
again, even before the Belgium game, the Mexico England game was just an absolute mess with VAR. Again, another great game, but it was a mess with VAR. So it should have been a red card, but again, the process to rescind it was bad because, Thursday and Friday it was reported that there was no mechanism for review. Multiple sources said, there's no process review, so he's going to have to let it stand. And then Sunday night or Sunday it comes out that, they not only rescinded it, but they didn't rescind it. They suspended it to a game that could not matter. So So, and again, it's just bad process. Like you're the host country, a head of state is getting involved for reasons passing understanding. Again, bad process. And again, the karma bug seemed to bite us in the ass with that one. So,
it's, I don't want to get into a larger conversation, but I think there is a larger conversation for people who are more passionate soccer fan or football fan than me about, the potential. I don't want to say, well, maybe corruption is the right word. I'm not sure what the word is, but just the kind of imbalance with the powers that be and the ability for them to kind of just make choices for their own, what seems like their own interest. It's, I think that it's raised a lot of question marks about the processes. It's raised a lot of question marks about VAR, all of the review and potential review situations. It's been ugly, that's kind of been, I think, the dark cloud that's been hovering over what's really been a really great tournament, the U.S. being the host country. I think it's been such a positive thing for the country. I think it's been such a positive thing on a world view. We're seeing viral clips of people, coming to the U.S. and enjoying themselves and having a good time and understanding that, what you're fed by the political machine isn't always what you get when you kind of reach people on a person-to-person level.
Yep.
So I love that impact that it's had on just the U.S. and the fans around the world.
Yeah, and for the most part, the soccer has been, or the football has been awesome. I don't know if anybody caught the Argentina-Egypt game, but holy son of a diddly, that was an amazing game. So again, soccer's been amazing, really talented players. A lot of history being made. Again, Lionel Messi, and then you have new stars coming on the scene like Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland and those guys. And again, it's just been a great tournament, like you said. So,
amazing to have. Until yesterday, I think we had 7 guys tied, or 3 guys tied with 7 goals apiece. I think.
Yep.
Messi's now got 8.
Yep.
The other guys will have a chance to put Mbappe and Haaland will have a chance. Man, Haaland's been I think the hidden secret from people that aren't football fans around in the U.S. at least. And he just plays such a fun style. He's been a nice discovery for me, and I'm sure a lot of other fans.
Yeah, I think it's funny because I think he answers the question: what if Jamar Chase had been a soccer player forever? Like he's 6'3", runs a 4.3 40.
Yeah.
He's huge, fast, big, and just physical freak of a Viking of a person. So
it's funny because I think if you don't watch soccer, then you don't think of it as a very physical sport. But I mean, when you see a guy like him play, you understand he can kind of impose his will in a way that you aren't used to seeing out there on the field.
Exactly right. So, it's funny because you have, crazy athletic guys like him, but yet the greatest player of all time is like 5'8" and no, you're right, a little Argentinian. So
yeah, exactly.
So it's just very cool to see that so many different body types and styles can have success at this World Cup.
Yeah.
So.
apparently now people are making fun of American football too, because it's only like 15 minutes of actual gameplay.
Yeah.
That's been the thing recently. I think the Europeans are trying to assert their sports dominance right now.
Right. Well, we can understand that still the most popular stuff, red sides here. So let's slow down there. Slow down there, guys.
You may have the rest of the world, but the U.S. we've got our true love in American football.
Yeah. Do we want to chat about a little bit about the future of the U.S. men's national team?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. Well, so now that we are out of the World Cup, there is going, and again, this team did not show up at all on Monday. So that is a huge problem that will need to be addressed. And, Christian Pulisic is going to have some questions asked about him, and rightfully so.
Yep.
It's unfortunate that he is hurt a lot of the time when it comes to the international game. He missed the Gold Cup, which was the tournament before this one, to prepare for the World Cup, both physically and mentally, and was hurt this entire tournament, unfortunately, and then had to leave early in the last game. It's just unfortunate that that availability is a skill, and it doesn't seem like he has that skill, unfortunately. Right. So he's going to get some criticism because he's the face of the program. So sorry, brother, you gotta stand up to it, and I hope he bounces back, because I would like to see him again in an American shirt. So
yeah, for sure, me too. And I think for as disappointing as that game was, I think there's some positive to take away. I think there's some young guys that can lead this team moving forward. I think they've got real seasoning in this tournament. So I think that there's something to look forward to when it comes to the future of this team. Now, is it going to be a top tier elite program? That remains to be seen. But when you have events like this, you sometimes can get a little bit of a spark from a younger generation of fans. Maybe something like that will occur. Maybe maybe people will find more of an interest or take more of a put more of an investment into this sport. But regardless, I think that overall it's been an amazing and fun experience for the U.S. Just your common folk all the way up to your diehard fans.
Yeah, my only fear with this is that we are going to that Mauricio Pochettino ends up moving on from the United States men's head coaching job. He's a former Champions League and Premier League coach. He's coached at PSG, so I'm sure he's going to be in demand. And it would be unfortunate if he would leave, because then we'd have to start over. And again, a lot of these guys, like Christian Pulisic, is going to be 31 at the next tournament. Jedi Robinson is going to be 32. I think McKinney is going to be 34 or something like that. So you've got the end of a lot of these primes. And if Pochettino goes, then we may have to start over. And now it's another system for these guys to learn. And it just would be unfortunate. So we'll see what happens. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that maybe the silver lining for me was it was the most watched soccer game in United States history. So something like 300 million people tuned in to watch. So I'm hoping that sparked some interest from some investors to maybe invest in our youth soccer because we desperately need it.
Yeah, and I saw Landon Donovan come out and say your lower income families, you really get families that are making less than $50,000 a year income don't have really opportunities to play in leagues or that's the sport in general. So maybe there'll be some sort of, like you said, someone will invest in the future of some of these this younger generation, or maybe some of these areas that don't have the opportunity to enroll their kids.
Yep. Well, I mean, it came out today. I forget who it was, but somebody was interviewing Chris Richards' mother, and she said, "Yeah, there was a time that we may have not been able to do this or pay the soccer fees in order to get Chris Richards to play. And again, he's our starting center back. So to lose a guy like that, that would be it's just a tragedy that can be easily averted. So
yeah, I mean, I got 2 kids in competitive basketball, and it is expensive. It's really expensive.
Yeah,
and so I understand, like, rec league is one thing, but when you want to, if a kid has a passion, you want to, cultivate it. It takes resources, and so it just becomes really difficult,
right?
For a lot of folks.
Yep.
But let's move on. What are we going for next? We're talking Nikola Jokic in the
yeah. Let's do it. So for those of you that are not watching the World Cup, there's another World Cup going on. It's the FIBA World Cup, and our beloved Nikola Jokic has been playing for Serbia over there, and he looks like he's in shape. He looks like he's motivated. Like, it is super exciting to watch him play. But he came out. He was interviewed on Monday after a game, and he said, my idea for Denver is to sign next summer, stay with Denver for the rest of my career. And he also said that the decision is strictly business oriented. My wish is to stay and play for Denver the rest of my career. It's on them if they want me. And I swear to God, I have $10 in my pocket. I will absolutely pay it up for him. So, because he's probably our best player ever. So,
yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
I think that it is nice for him to come out and say that. There's no reason he has to come out and say that per se.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously you're gonna get asked about it in the media. You can defer to your agent. You can defer to, let's just see what happens. Something vague, and he didn't. He took the time to say that he wants to be back. And I think that from what we know about Jokic, that when he says those sorts of things, they tend to be, at least at the time, from a place where you believe him. He hasn't led the front office on in any ways. He's been here his whole career. He's re-signed with us. We knew when he didn't sign the extension this last offseason, there was talk about, maybe that means he's going to be on the move. Now we're going to have to field that again. Of course, the media is going to take it wherever they want to. Do you feel threatened by the fact that Jokic is not going to re-sign this offseason and is waiting until next offseason?
No, I don't fault Joker at all for waiting, because I think he can tell that this team is is kind of stuck in neutral. This core group that won the national, or that won the championship, is kind of played out. Like, Aaron Gordon is certainly older. Jamal Murray is certainly older. And we don't have the pieces to get into the next tier of contenders, unfortunately, because, Oklahoma City is just all consistently reloading. Again, the Spurs just represented the West in the NBA Finals, and we couldn't get out of the first round. So I think it's fair to say I'm going to wait and see how this offseason plays out to kind of figure out what we're going to do.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. This team, we know, needs some retooling. It's right now they're in a contract dispute of sorts with Peyton Watson. Nothing has really moved on that end. When we're talking about trying to reload with young talent for the right price, that's something that he's got to weigh in, and the team has to figure out this season before he can really make a decision. It's another something that we're waiting to fall for, potentially the LeBron saga that's going on. I think that he's waiting to see what teams are doing, and before he makes a decision. So I think it's a normal thing, and I think lock him up for the next 5 years after this season. You'll have him until he's 37.
Yep.
And at that point, that may be the career. With Jokic, you never know how much time he actually is going to stay. He loves Serbia. Obviously, he loves playing with his teammates in Serbia. You see it. You see the videos. You see the excitement he has for his countrymen. You see that he was made captain for the squad this year. So it's it always, there's that little nagging feeling in the back of my head that's like, could this go sour? Could something happen and he end up being moved or moving himself? I think that it's always a possibility. I think the percentage obviously has gone up since last offseason that could happen. However, I do still feel like it's a small percentage. And so I'm trying to stay positive.
Yeah. And the other thing to consider is the fact that if he signs this year, he makes something like $80 million less. Like the cap goes up next year. So again, his extension would be worth more if he signs next year. So again, it could be just a strictly, like he said, a business decision that says, hey, I'm going to make more money if I sign my extension next year. So I am not panicking yet, but I think you're right where it's, they need to start doing stuff. And it's been pretty quiet for the Nuggets. No news on Peyton Watson. The LeBron stuff is out there, but not really out there. They made a couple moves that we're going to talk about in the Mile High market. So we'll get there. But, it's just been very quiet for the Nuggets this offseason, whereas like the Avalanche have been signing some players. So
yeah. And it's, presumably you have some guys that should draw some interest. I think that just the landscape of NBA free agency now is just it's you pay a few guys at the top and then the rest you're trying to get, on the bargain bin. And so it makes it really challenging to move players. It makes it really challenging to manipulate the cap right now.
Yeah. You're muted there, Jared.
I don't know how that happened. I didn't do anything. But the luxury tax, the second apron, all of that stuff, it makes it difficult to make moves that feel fair for both teams or for the teams that are involved. We saw a 6-person trade the other day. It's like guys are trying to figure out how to jump through hoops to make moves. I mean, this is a trade that sent Chris Middleton to the Wizards. It wasn't like a huge blockbuster trade. You're sending a guy who's at the definitely the back nine of his career to a team that isn't really considered to be a contender. And you have to get 6 teams involved just to make that move. And so, I think that things are going to change with how that over time, I think that will change. But right now it's tough. It's a tough landscape to even move guys with favorable contracts like Cam Johnson, who's got an expiring deal.
Yep.
It's hard to get guys to take them. If you don't feel like making that move makes you competitive, then why make it,
Right. Exactly right. Yeah, it's just interesting to see kind of how the Calvin Booth tenure and the alignment, or the misalignment between the front or the presidency, the ownership, the front office, and the coaching staff has really just set this team behind. Because you can tell that like the Zeke Nodges of the world were Calvin Booth special. He wanted him to play. On a cheap contract, he wanted to be the next, like the solution to the backup big man problem. And Mike Malone was not interested in that. And, again, the Jamal Murray extension was, hey, thanks for that 2023 magical run. But now it's just coming back to bite us in the butt because he's got on a contract that we can't really move. And kind of the same thing with Christian Brown. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Cody, we're going to talk about LeBron here in the Mile High market.
We are. So don't worry.
I appreciate the comment, though.
We'll give our feelings on it. Tim Dog, what's up, fellas? Thanks, Tim. Appreciate you for being around. Keep up the show. Thank you. Still Up Sports. Appreciate y'all. Only other thing I want to say, like you said, Jokic looks good in Summer League. We're going to keep an eye on that. Obviously, it sounds like Luka's out. Luka's team didn't qualify, and Giannis's team didn't qualify. So it's kind of a weird season over there in FIBA. But Jokic is they're rolling right now. The team doesn't feel quite as good as it's been in the past, just from what I've heard and seen.
And that's typical of a World Cup team. Is it's a little weaker than the Olympic team. So we'll have to see what they look like in the Olympics. So I think that's 2028, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Yeah. And then Nuggets Summer League starts tomorrow, I think, or Saturday. I can't remember. They've got a game coming up. I think on Saturday might be their first game. So we get to see the draft picks. in action. It sounds like Deron Holmes is not going to participate. He's been practicing, but he's not going to play in summer league, which maybe is good because that's where he tore his Achilles in his rookie season. KJ Simpson, who had a cup of tea with the Nuggets last year, is on that roster, so we'll get to see him a little bit run point. So there's, I was reading something too with that team just to mention it. We don't have to spend a lot of time on it, but the youngest player on their team is 24, and so it looks like they are building a squad that is maybe a little bit older for trying to find guys that they can identify that might come in and help this year.
Yeah.
As opposed to young project guys, which I think is interesting. I don't know if that's fully accurate. I'd have to double check. I thought I remember seeing that, but yeah, just like, looking for guys that who can come in and contribute that you can kind of trust to not make young man mistakes. I don't know how I feel about that as a strategy overall, but if they find some guys, I guess I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you are correct. The summer league opens tomorrow. Nuggets first game is on Friday.
Okay. Yeah. I know there's been a few summer league. They always do that weird Utah summer league early.
Yeah, sorry. Speaking of, and it's only because I'm a Jayhawk fan, but Darren Peterson looks like he's going to be a problem.
He looks amazing.
If the Jazz get better, we're in so much trouble. And
man, it's rough. I mean, that's a team that's kind of waiting. Feel like I'm just waiting for them to kind of bloom a little bit, and Peterson may speed that up. It doesn't excite me. I mean, it's always exciting to see good young players, but man, get them in a different conference.
Why does Cooper Flagg have to be a Maverick, and why does Darren Peterson have got to be the Jazz? Can't they be Hornets and
whoever, right?
Magic and people where are those guys? So
yeah, we'll see. But we'll keep an eye on Summer League. We'll definitely be talking about that next week a little bit more. But until then, we've got a few folks we want to shout out. Some of our sponsors.
You don't know?
But first, please subscribe to the Orange and Blue Network. You can find us on X. You can find us on Facebook. Anywhere that you listen to your favorite podcast, you can find a number of our shows. So please get us in your algorithm. We have shows every day of the week. Mondays and Fridays at 11. We've got Orange and Blue Blitz. Broncos Bros Mondays at 7 p.m. Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue. Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Ourselves on 2:30 p.m. on Wednesdays. Broncos Talk Wednesdays at 6. Mile High Outcast Thursday at 7. Our Spanish-speaking Broncos show Viva Los Broncos Fridays at 6 p.m. And for breaking news, pregame, play-by-play, and postgame every game day, you've got Fresh Squeeze, Get Buck, the Bucking Booth, and Buck Your Feelings. So Broncos coverage every day of the week, and then you can catch us for some additional Colorado sports coverage. But great shows. We also have a giveaway. We have a signed Nick Benito mini helmet. We will be giving away when we reach 1,000 subs on YouTube. So please find our YouTube channel and go subscribe. You'll get all access to all the great shows that we put together here on the network, and then a chance to win an autograph from one of your favorite Broncos, Nick Benito.
Yep. And then, of course, there's Dubby.
Good old Dubby.
Yep, Dubby. As parents, we need that caffeine because kids go on something other than caffeine, and I'm not sure what it is, but we need to distill it and use it as an energy source.
That's right.
But Dubby is an all-natural caffeine. Has none of the stuff you don't want, so none of those artificial colors or fillers or anything like that, and all the stuff you do want. So if you can't pronounce it, don't put it in your face.
That's right.
So if you want to maybe get 10% off your order, use our code OBN10 at checkout. I'm not going to do the Bo Nix thing because that's Nick's thing. So Nick can do that. So, and last, Lily's Beauty Salon. If you need a glow up, as the kids say, check out Lily's Beauty Salon. It's in Thornton, Colorado. So go ahead and contact Lily and tell her we sent you.
All right. What you ready? You're ready for the market?
Yep. Let's do the Mile High market. So what we're going to be doing is buying or selling, and generally it's just going to be concepts. So we're going to start with the Denver Nuggets, and since Cody was so kind, our first buy or sell is LeBron James maybe coming into the team. Are we buying that as a good thing, or are we selling it as, no, we're not super interested? What do you think?
Here's what I'll say. I'm buying it as a positive, but there are some caveats. One of the caveats is price. Obviously, we don't want to overpay for a guy that's 42 years old to come in and join this team. Now, if you can get him on a 1 year minimum or close to minimum contract, I think that it's a positive thing. I think that he plays a style of basketball that's good. That would be good with Nikola Jokic. He's additional ball handler, which is something that we've been missing. I think he brings, when he's healthy, he's a body in the lineup that people have to account for on defense. He brings athleticism even still at his age. I think there are a lot of positives that he can bring to this team now. Do I think that it's likely to happen? I still don't feel like it's that likely, even though it's kind of been reported that he's narrowed it down and the Nuggets are on that list.
It's a 10-team list, though, isn't it? I think it's a 10-team list is what I read.
I think it's been narrowed to 6.
Okay.
But I still feel like we're like 5th or 6th.
Right.
But regardless, I think that I could see a lot of positive on the basketball court. Now, of course, there's going to be a little bit of a circus always when you have LeBron James coming to town, that sort of thing. But the style of play, I think the level of play that the Nuggets can reach, especially in the playoff series, I think that LeBron can still offer something in those moments. He played great in the playoffs last year, to be honest, as kind of more of a facilitator. And they beat up on the Rockets. So I think he still's got I still think he has some stuff in the tank that he can bring to this team, and I think that it could be a positive.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, and I think you nailed it with the caveats. And I think Cody's point is well taken, because I don't want to sign LeBron James in lieu of doing something else that may be a little bit more impactful for multiple years.
Right.
If we get down to we're talking like August and we really haven't done anything, then I think I'm more interested in bringing LeBron James on to kind of build some interest and build some momentum to, maybe making more moves to improve this team. I agree with you. The ball handling, I think, is what the best skill that he brings to our team. He still doesn't solve the defense problem. So we'll have to see how that goes. I think he's a good fit offensively, but defensively, we're still going to struggle, and that's kind of a big hole for us. So
yeah, it would be interesting to see how they would play him too. What the lineup would look like, because someone's obviously going to get ousted. If he were to get signed, assuming you re-sign Peyton Watson, you'd have Jamal at the 1, Peyton Watson at the 2, Cam Johnson 3, LeBron, Aaron. I don't even know what it looks like.
I think it's LeBron James at the 3. And then
Morgan at the 4.
Yeah, and then Joker at 5. And I'm like, that seems like a really old, slow team to me. So
yeah. It is a long team. I will say,
yes.
Peyton Watson at the 2 is, he's got a over 7-foot wingspan. You've got some size and some beef for sure, but it's not necessarily a quick team. You may have some trouble getting out to the corners.
Yeah, again, especially when LeBron James and Joker are kind of that facilitator of the offense. You want those guys to have the ball most of the time. So I don't know how that would work either. So especially
it would be an odd balancing act with Jamal.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
So we'll see. But
I'm lukewarm on that, I suppose. So I guess I'm buying it if we haven't made any other moves, only because I think it moves.
You're buying it if it's a vet man like me.
Yeah, exactly right. All right. So we did make a free agent signing. It's Marvin Bagley. What do you think about that one? Buying or selling it?
I'm buying it. I think that I texted you guys. I think he's only 27 years old, which surprised me. Feels like he's been around for a long time. He's been on a number of teams. This is a guy that's second pick overall in the NBA draft. Obviously has some some skill or some athleticism. Hasn't really landed as a top prospect, but still can be a meaningful player in a game. You know, a role player, a guy that. What I do kind of like is I think that he can play your backup 5 minutes for stretches, and I also think he can play minutes at the 4 with Jokic. So I think he offers you a little bit of versatility there. Offensively, he's a decent scorer. I think he shot a career high from 3 last year, which is nice to see a little bit of improvement in that area. Averages about a block a game, which is nice. You know, we don't really have anyone that's doing that right now except for Peyton Watson. And just offers athleticism, I think, in the dunker spot, you know, with if Aaron Gordon's off the court, it's a good place for him to kind of learn how to operate, and Jokic will take advantage of that. So ultimately, I don't know if it's a huge needle mover as far as, you know, offseason moves. I don't think you just signed the next 6th man of the year or anything like that. But as far as good role player, a guy that you can fit in the scheme, I think it works.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I'm buying it a little bit, mainly because I think he's an Aaron Gordon light. So, I mean, he's athletic. He can shoot the ball a little bit. He can kind of play off of Joker. I'm not expecting him to come in and set the world on fire. But, you know, again, at least it's something, because right now we have Zeke Naji, Deron Holmes, and a couple of draft picks behind him. And it's like there's not a whole lot there. Yeah. So, again, we need to, for what feels like a decade now, we're trying to still solve that. Who's going to be the backup behind Joker? So,
yeah. And like, it's probably a smart move for him, honestly. You know, Jokic gets guys paid. Bruce Brown left and got $40 million and then came back. You know, guys have come here and gotten paid. And, you know, Tim Hardaway came here on a veteran minimum and just made some more money with the Heat this year. So I think that it's probably a good career move for him too, even though it's not going to be, the payoff may not be this year as far as, you know, a contract, but maybe moving forward, he'll get a better opportunity or at least some more money to go play somewhere else. So
agreed. So at least, you know, again, veteran minimum doesn't cost you a lot is also the upside. So
the 27-year-old veteran.
Right. A 27-year-old veteran who's been, how many teams has he been on? Like 3 or 4?
I think at least 3. I know Detroit. I know.
That ain't great.
Kings, Detroit, and was he Washington last year?
I think you're right.
So this might be his 4th team.
Okay. Another thing we decided to do in free agency is we decided to extend Tyus Jones. He's staying with us for another year at least. So that's good news for us, in my opinion. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'll buy that. It's not a real needle mover, but it's a guy that has been in the league for a while. He's had good opportunities on meaningful teams. You know, he's a low turnover ratio guy, so he's a guy that makes smart decisions with the ball in his hand. You know, when it comes to a playoff series, I don't know if he's going to get much play time unless someone's hurt. You know, but I think he's a guy that you can trust. He kind of reminds me of like what Monte Morris could bring. Yeah, when he was with the Nuggets, you know, a couple of years ago. Just that same kind of guy, can get hot, can be impactful on the offensive end, but really he's going to operate the offense the way that you want it operated with that second unit, or, you know, in spot starts occasionally. But, you know, I don't see it. It's funny. It's hard to say any of the Nuggets moves, even because there haven't been that many, are bad. You know, at least they're targeting areas of need. Potential backup big, a ball handler at the point, you know, so I'm buying this one too.
Yeah, you know, professional point guard. So I'll buy it as well. Just again, as the 10th, 11th guy off your bench. Sure, sounds good. Let's go ahead and do it. Okay, for these next 3, these guys have left the squad. So buying is like it's a good move. Selling, it's like, hey, we should have retained him. Tim Hardaway Jr., as you alluded to, signed with the Miami Heat. So we buying or selling the leaving?
I mean, I don't know what you could have done to retain him. I mean, obviously I sell. I want him on our squad. And so I think that's the easy way to go about it. But It would have been hard to find a way to keep him, especially with the Peyton Watson contract situation. So I understand letting him go. I understand, and I understand that he probably wanted to change scenery too, potentially, if he doesn't feel like this team is close enough to compete. He's at the end of his career in probably the next couple of years.
Hell, he might start on the Heat.
Yeah, that's true. They're getting a little thin over there.
Yep.
But they have Giannis, so. But obviously, I would have loved to keep Tim. He was a great Nugget, but contract-wise, I don't know. You would have found something that would have worked for both parties.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence on this one because I don't think we're going to be able to pay him regardless.
Yeah.
So, like you said, it does leave now we need shooting a little bit more, so we need to replace that kind of thing. So that is kind of hard. But if he was never going to be here anyway, I mean, might as well. So I guess I'll sell it because it does make our team worse. So him not being here. So, but I'm hoping that maybe we signed a younger Tim Hardaway Jr., the one guy who can shoot and come off the bench and give you some stuff, but also maybe gives you a little bit better defensive ceiling. So
yeah.
All right, Jalen Pickett. Also, we decided thanks, but no thanks. We're not going to pick up your option. So Jalen Pickett leaving. What do we think?
I mean, I'll buy it. I was never a Pickett guy. Conceptually, I liked when we drafted him, what he could do. He's a solid point guard. But again, just a young guy, not very athletic, could score at times, but was inconsistent. You saw flashes here and there of good playmaking, but it was just I think a mix of not having consistent opportunity and B, just being a little bit limited as far as his athleticism goes. So I like Jalen Pickett. I wish him the best. I hope he lands somewhere where they'll appreciate him and they can use him. Yeah. But I wasn't, heartbroken to see him go per se.
Yeah, I'll buy it for the same reasons. I mean, I hope he goes and gets a better opportunity because he was not going to get that opportunity here for one reason or another. Both Malone and Adelman decided he wasn't worthy of getting those minutes, which is odd, especially when you have like a deficit on ball handling and kind of running the offense. So you would have thought he would have gotten a little bit more run.
Yeah.
But here we are. He didn't get it. So, all right. Now, this is not official, but the rumors are pretty strong and the smoke is there that Big Val Jonas Valanciunas is not going to be back for us. Buy or sell that one?
I'll buy it just because it's $10 million off your cap.
Yep.
You got to find money somewhere. And B, I think when it came down to it, even in the playoffs, you found that they didn't really trust him outside of the moments that Jokic couldn't be on the floor. So you can't play him with Jokic really. They tried that early in the season. He could rebound when he wanted to score. He could. He'd get a little bit of foul trouble. He had a little bit of toughness at times. But I don't think that it's something that can't be duplicated by someone else. So I love Big Val. I'll root for him whether he ends up overseas or somewhere else. But I don't think it was a bad move for the Nuggets.
Yeah, this one, unfortunately, I think the writing was on the wall pretty much midseason. Like, I think it became pretty clear that even in the last offseason, he did not want to be here. He wanted to go play overseas. And I don't think David Adelman ingratiated himself to Big Val because his minutes were all over the place, especially down the stretch. Even with Jokic hurt, it was still like he was starting, Spencer Jones over him. And I don't know why Val didn't get more run, but he didn't. So, and it was just disappointing to see because I think all of us were super excited that going into last year, we picked up Cam Johnson. We thought he was going to be great as a kind of a lighter Michael Porter Jr. who's not as crazy.
Yeah.
And Valanciunas was finally going to be that answer to we need a big man. We need another big man to support Jokic, and it just didn't work. So just very, very sad. So, but again, this is a addition by subtraction. Like if he doesn't want to be here, his $10 million can be used somewhere else. So I agree with you.
Can I give you two just real quick?
Go for it.
Just because they're guys that are still out there that I think are interesting to talk about.
Yeah.
Would you buy or sell the Nuggets bringing back Bruce Brown?
Sell. Again, kind of the same Tim Hardaway thing. It's like he didn't give. I don't think he gave us enough last year, and I think we were kind of treading on good feelings, like because of his 2023 contributions. And again, I love Bruce Brown. We'll always recognize his contributions for that 2023 team, but again, we need to get younger and more athletic especially on defense. So and Bruce Brown doesn't help you get there. So I'm selling that one.
What about KCP?
Oh man, if we could have, I don't think we can afford him, but the man has made just a crud ton of money on the market. So good for him.
He's still available, and I haven't heard much. Let's see, I'll Google it while we're talking, but I haven't heard much about him.
Again,
I know he was hurt a good bit of last year.
Yeah, I think he's been I think he's been hurt the last couple of years where it's just not he's just not been available. I would love to bring him back because I thought he was the most underrated signing of the Calvin Booth era, where they got him for almost nothing, and he turned out to be that 3-and-D guy that we needed, starting next to Jamal Murray, and he could handle those assignments. But again, like we got to get younger, we got to get more athletic, and I don't think KCP gets us there. So unfortunately,
I did think of one more just while we were sitting here.
Sure.
There's a lot of DeMar DeRozan talk right now. He's not with. He was released by Sacramento. He's still averaging pretty good scoring numbers. 18 points per game last year. 18.5 points per game last year. If you can get him, say, as a piece to just as a scorer and potential shooter, but then maybe as a piece to draw LeBron, if you could do so. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Again, we're going in the opposite direction where we're supposed to be, which is kind of funny. I mean, I would love to watch DeMar DeRozan and Jokic and LeBron James play, but like, what to what end? Like,
yeah, that's fair.
So again, he still can score, so he can still put up numbers, but he doesn't help you get younger or more athletic, like
or defensively better,
right? Like, so I think we're just kicking the can. And we still get bounced in the first round. So
fair enough.
Yeah. So as much fun as it would be, I don't disagree. Like the offense would be fun, but we'd be just kicking ourselves when we're losing 150 to 140. So every game.
Yeah, fair enough. That would be ugly. Okay, those are the only ones I had. You can go back to doing yours.
No worries. So we're gonna switch teams. Okay. Did you guys talk about the Avs last week at all?
A little bit. We didn't get deep into it. A lot of the moves were kind of on the depth side.
Okay.
So we were getting more familiar with them than we were actually giving opinions.
So did you like Jaden Schwartz, the top winger that Sakic signed?
Yeah, I do. I think that's a good move. I would buy that move. It's I got a veteran guy who's been productive in the past. Who with Seattle had good moments. I think last year he was pretty banged up, so maybe his least healthy year in a while. So you're taking a little bit of injury risk there, but really a veteran that you could kind of slot in with these guys. Gritty, has a good style that would fit in well with that third line unit. A guy that you would hope could catch a little bit of fire at times and carry offensively at in games, or at least add some scoring pop to that bottom six.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a good acquisition and for the right price.
34 though is a little concerning to me. I mean, although Burnsy is like 47 and apparently just coming back as a defenseman. So
yeah, he's coming back. I mean, we knew he was going to play. We just didn't know where, and we just decided to keep him, I guess, because he's got to break that Iron Man streak.
Apparently. So, buy or sell the Makar extension?
I mean, you gotta extend Makar. It's just we talked
Taylor Makar.
I was gonna say, which Makar are we talking about?
Yep, we actually extended Taylor Makar.
Yes, that's true. So. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things. Like, I think that he's got potential to be a player. It's probably a rotational player or a depth player.
Yeah.
But if it keeps Kale happy and it has any weight on whether he would re-sign with us, extend with us, etc., it's probably worth doing. It's just like, Thanasis Antetokounmpo, something like that. If we need to keep him on the roster to keep our superstar happy, then let's do it.
Sure, why not? Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, very funny. Okay, yeah, but that Kel McCarr extension is coming, and
that will
we're
be
just gonna have to see how that goes. So, the last team that we have to chat about is your Colorado Rockies, who, by the way, are not the worst team in baseball.
They are not. The Angels have more losses than the Rockies.
Right. Hey, look at us. Look at us. We're not the worst. So, but that does mean that the trade deadline is coming up. So, buy or sell. So I'm going to give you some of these trade candidates, and you tell me whether you would keep them or sell them.
Okay.
Antonio Senzanzala. He's been a revelation in the pen.
Yeah, Senzatela's been around for a while. I like Senzatela. He's a good player. It's hard to get rid of good pitching when you have it, but I think at this point, most guys are going to be expendable. They're going to be tradable. I don't think you don't make a move with Senzatela. So I guess I would be selling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Selling just because I think, you need picks, you need assets at this point where the Rockies are rebuilding. But love Senzatela. Hope he's here, at the end of the day. But couldn't.
Yeah, I'm good with him going. We're terrible with him, so we'd be terrible without him. So
Right.
It's fine. Like, again, if he gets us a prospect, you never know, when the next Jeff Bagwell is going to wander around the scene. And again,
exactly.
The one thing you always, or these baseball clubs always need is pitching. So any kind of depth that we can get, I think I'm okay letting him go, unfortunately. Yeah. So good Rocky, but we'll see later. So Mickey Moniak. So this gentleman has been just killing the ball, which is great. So he's an outfielder we got in free agency. So buy or sell?
I would hold on to Moniak. He's a 28-year-old guy. I think he's a guy that obviously is contributing this year. You need, some veterans. I don't know. I mean, 28 in baseball, I think you can be considered a veteran for sure. But he's a guy that is productive and can play on this team, can be a leader on this team moving forward. I just think that he's been a good acquisition for us. And I would like to see him here longer. I mean, he came from the Angels, so Phillies, Angels, Rockies, not necessarily had a chance to play for some top flight
teams there,
organizations.
Yep.
But maybe, stick it out a little bit longer. Oh, he was with Giants too. Or no, he wasn't. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. But regardless, I think he's a good player. I think you could hold on to him, especially at his age.
Yeah, I'm again kind of like I'm always
Senzatela.
Thank you, Senzatela. Yeah. I am constantly going to mispronounce his name, so I'm selling him.
Okay.
Anything I can get for him because they're terrible with him, they're going to be terrible without him. And honestly, like if Charlie Condon keeps hitting the ball like he is at Albuquerque, I'm okay giving him the innings going forward. Just start that clock rolling. A foundational piece that we need to build around. Also, TJ Rumsfeld. I know Nick is driving that bandwagon. He is won Rookie of the Month, I think, for the second month in a row. So
yeah, he's a dog.
Yeah, good for him. All right, last one I'm going to ask you about is Hunter Goodman. He's our catcher who's just killing the ball.
Yeah.
Probably going to be I would imagine he's going to be our all-star. So
yeah. I think that it's funny. I always think about that position, the catcher position. The Rockies haven't had a good catcher in years, really, like since the 90s, maybe, like a
Yeah.
really great catcher. Like even with Arenado, Trevor Story, like we've always kind of been through the carousel with catchers.
Yeah, Charles Johnson's the only one I can really remember that was that guy.
Yeah.
So, Chris Iannetta, Jorvik, Torrealba, those guys.
Yeah.
Those guys were solid. We're solid catchers.
Solid guys. That had
I don't think we ever think we got an all-star appearance out of them. So.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't think Iannetta did for sure, but Torrealba maybe, but I don't think so.
Yeah, the Will and Rosario, apparently the baby bull. So we forgot about him.
Yeah, that's true. Forgot about Rosario. I like Goodman. He's 26 years old. I think he's a guy that you can fill out your roster with. It's hard to find a good catcher, apparently, especially the Rockies over the years, to find someone that you can kind of sit and just let them grow with the team. So I'd be for keeping him. Obviously, if the price is right, you get rid of
anybody. Yeah, everybody's available. So.
But I like Goodman.
Yeah, I think I'm keeping Goodman. I think that would be the one I would push back on and say, okay, this guy might be a foundational piece. He's already an all-star. There's no reason to sell an all-star just to try and get a potential all-star. I mean, it's that
right.
It's like it could be anything. It could even be a boat. But you have the boat. What are you talking about?
Right, exactly.
So,
I was going to ask you one more thing. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Broncos, just because.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because it's the Broncos,
and it is called the Orange and Blue Network. So let's.
That's right. I want to know, do you think that the Broncos should bring back Von Miller? This I think is, I don't know that it's controversial per se, but I think it could. I think I could see people having multiple feelings on it. Take a Broncos fan perspective if you like, or not, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
But do you think that it's worth the Broncos cap space, and do you think it's a move that they should have on their radar potentially?
I do think it's a move they should have on their radar, only because we don't know what's going to happen with Jonathan Cooper as of yet. I'd be okay with it. I think kind of either way. I think you can never have too many pass rushers. And even if he comes back as a situational player, I mean, you may get 5 to 6 sacks out of him, which would be worth it in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a bad move, even if it eats up a little bit of your cap room. I'm not for signing him to a 3-year deal, but certainly a 1-year deal to kind of. Yeah. Hey, here's a nostalgia one. You'll retire as a Bronco. We appreciate you. Kind of farewell tour. I think would be interesting. Especially, and again, like I said, depending on what happens with Jonathan Cooper, it might end up being a little bit more than that. So, yeah, I'm for it. I'm here for it.
I think that I am. I mean, obviously, from a fan standpoint, it's fun to have Vaughn around the team.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to have him back in the locker room with the guys, being able to interview him, see how the season's going on. And, he's working on whatever the next stage of his career is to, shadowing in front offices and all sorts of stuff.
Sure.
Kind of in his downtime. But I think just for the nostalgia hit, I want it, or at least I want it to be an option. Maybe you get deeper in the season, someone gets hurt. Available, you bring him on.
Yeah, I don't think you sign him for training camp, because I don't think he would I think he would be participating in training camp. I think he'd just be kind of getting ready for the season, because you don't want to mess with his reps. So.
He teased signing with the Cowboys. Did you see this?
He's got a chicken farm outside of Dallas. So yeah, that has been a thing for a decade now. That Von Miller's got this. He's got some roots in Texas, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Again, we can use the help for sure. Why not? But,
anyone to improve the defense, right?
Yeah, and again, especially our pass rushers. If Rashawn Gary is our leading pass rusher going into next year, that is going to be a problem. So, all respect to Rashawn Gary, but Von Miller, he is not. So
no,
but
unfortunately.
again, we signed Clowney last year, and he was productive for us. So I'm okay. I'm okay rolling the dice on a veteran pass rusher, if for no other reason than maybe he mentors some of these young pass rushers that we have. Malachi Lawrence and I almost said DeMarcus Lawrence, Malachi Lawrence and Ezraku. So
yeah, Ezraku. What do you expect from him this year? Just this is just me from a draft. I was a draft guy. I was an Izaraku guy actually.
I was too. Again, he showed advanced pass rush moves at Boston College, and then came in and was awful. I think the coaching staff did not do him any favors next year. So I'm expecting 4 or 5 sacks. Maybe get back to some of the stuff that made you productive at Boston College is what I'm hoping for. Yeah. So I'm not expecting a breakout season from him. But I think, especially with the Cowboys, I think they're going to have to get 5 sacks from Ezraku, 6 sacks from Gary, 4 sacks from Quentin Williams or whatever you can get them. So
one last thing before we close the show, Cody had a question earlier that we didn't hit. What Denver sports team wins a championship soonest and why? That's a tough one.
I think I'm going to roll. And again, I was asked this question, I think 6 months ago, and my answer has changed because I would have thought that it would have been like the Avalanche, and now I'm kind of leaning towards the Broncos because I think they've got and Nick always makes a point of this, and shout out to Nick for doing it. They've got the foundation. The organization is aligned and has been aligned for some time, so I think that creates an environment for success. So, and again, you were one step away from representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. So I'm going to say the Broncos.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you. I would have said the Avs, obviously, a couple months ago.
Yeah. Do you want to power? Oh, absolutely. Okay, a couple months ago, I was drinking the Kool-Aid, going, let's do this. Do you want to power rank them? Who do you think is next?
Yeah, probably Avs after Broncos, and then Nuggets. Broncos, I think, from what you said, I do think there's a lot of alignment between the coaching staff and front office and the players. I think everyone understands what the goal is, and I think everyone's rowing in the same direction.
Yeah. And
I think you're kind of getting to, year 3 with Bo Nix. I think you're starting to get to real I don't want to say emergence because I don't think that's the right word, but I think you can you're going to find more consistency over the next couple of years from him. I think, we'll really know what level of pro he's going to be over the next couple of years. I tend to believe that Bo Nix will be a good quarterback in the NFL for a long time. But we'll kind of understand more of what his ceiling is, I think, too. And so
agreed.
I think that's the most exciting thing the Broncos fans have to look forward to is just we get to kind of flesh out what Bo Nix can be on this roster that's set up to win today, and we'll understand soon in the next year or two whether he's a guy that's going to take us to that next level or not. But I think that I think that puts the Broncos kind of in the front runner position.
Agreed. I think, and I think it's exciting for Bronco fans to finally have a young quarterback that they can root for and have some consistency at that position since you've gone through your Trevor Siemians, your Russell Wilsons, your
Joe Flacco.
Yes, Joe Flacco. I forgot about him. Yeah. Can't imagine why. So I think it's an exciting time to be a Broncos fan. So.
Me too. Well, I think we're going to call it here today. Chris is going to start looking for the outro because I am bad at this and Nick's not here while I talk. But we appreciate you all being here. Thank you for everything. Always joining us in your comments and all that stuff. We always appreciate that. Please hit us up on X. Hit us up on YouTube. Subscribe. Get in the running for that Nick Benito mini helmet giveaway. And tune into all the other shows on the network. We appreciate you. But be kind to one another. Be safe out there. And if you need a sports prescription, ask a doctor. Maybe.
Play.
From football to hockey, we're taking it higher. Join the celebration, feel that sports desire. So grab your crew, let's hit the show. Mile High Sports Symposium, let the good times flow. From football to